Alrighty, so we are back. Yesterday we got back to Zombie Garage after a 2-month hiatus, and this is what we're returning to. But you're asking yourself, where's the blower? Where's the hat? Well, at the end of the last trip, I had a little bit of an oopsie. You can see a bit of damage on the top of that piston. Pretty much when we did that event with T-Pain and Hurt, I got a procedure for warming up the car, and the procedure was interrupted. I wasn't paying attention. I forgot to turn the water pump on for the skid. Didn't get too hot, but still got hot because it was only a short skid. LS3 heads are notorious for once you get the engine too hot, those seats in the head, they like to drop a lot. So we dropped a valve. We were doing a skid, I think it was the night before we were leaving, and developed a misfire, drove it back into the shed, and pulled one of the spark plugs, went, uh-oh, pulled the head off, and we're like, time for some surgery, some open heart surgery. But from what we can see, Jack and I were looking at it, piston still comes to TDC. The piston doesn't rock or anything. You can see that it's still completely straight, hasn't turned or anything. So rod should be good, which means crank should be good. Lifters and everything should be good. Everyone is well aware that this thing is pretty loved, especially after last trip. It's due for a birthday. So we got some dents to fix. Thankfully, the driver's side is still pretty much untouched. But in these boxes, we have, number one, an inflatable paint booth from Sawinfla. And then we've got CLIKB8's new color in here. So over the next couple weeks, we're going to go through, not only give the engine a refresh, we've got new wheels for it, we've got new paint for it. Ashton over at Quick Performance was super helpful, and as soon as I hit them up, they were pretty much extremely happy to jump on board. So we're changing the diff gears, so the car should drive a lot better. It should be a lot more peppy because I've blocked off 3 butterflies in the hat and only one's talking to the engine. With 3.0s, if you're super gripped up in the rear, which this thing is super gripped up, it can actually drag the engine down a little bit depending on what pad you're on. So it should make the engine come alive a lot more, which is super exciting. And then one other thing I'm extremely excited for is for years driving the car, I would always think that there was times where I'd hit lock at steering angle and be like, man, it'd be really cool if I had more steering angle here. But I just figured that, maybe it was because I need to learn to drive the car better or drive around it a bit better or know what I'm doing a bit better. But after these last 2 months not being here, probably put a good 30, 40 hours on the sim. And one of the first things I picked up was, no, I was right. More angle would help. And Jack was like, hell yeah, it would. So the guys over at Drift and Dreams hooked us up with these knuckles. If you follow our friend Luke Fink online, you would have seen that he put these in his VE Ute drift car. Takes it from like a 22-degree steering angle from factory, and I think it gives it another 20 degrees. So these puppies should transform the car. Between these and the diff gears alone, it's going to be a completely new car to drive. So I cannot freaking wait. Got some fresh tail lights. Thanks to Chad Douglas, we got some new glass for the clear view because, as you remember on ours as well, you can't see shit through it. And it's cracking so bad. Look at that. You can't even see through it. It's cracking so bad. On the inside, it's dropping the perspex into the filter. So we got plenty to do. We got plenty of fun stuff to do. So first thing we're going to do, because we're going to LS Fest this weekend, and Seth is obviously taking Old Blue. We're taking Marine. Seth is like, oh, you ain't got a car to drive Marine. But before LS Fest, I want to try, obviously I can't get a tailgate here. So bog these dents, we'll try and bash them out, bog them. Bog this quarter, get it into high fill. The spray source really hooked us up. They gave us everything from bog to high fill to a sealer, paint, clear. They gave us everything. They hooked us up. I'm so happy to be working with them. But I want to try and have all of this stuff in high fill before we leave for LS Fest so that it has time to dry and just get as good as it can. And then got to fix the side skirts because the boom tubes melted them. Yeah, let's get into it. Fancy little product placement, but we got to get all this crack shit off. Look at that scratch. Oh man, that really hurts to do, even though it's all damaged. I'm hoping that this one's just paint crack and the bog, like this, the top section is skimmed in bog. Hopefully that's not too deep either way. Otherwise I'll just get a grinder, dig into it, bog over it. But all this stuff, I'll have to check for alignment because it obviously goes in here. I can put the jack in there and try and get that out. But from here down, it'll all be fresh bog. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, don't make it that deep, it's probably going to crack. But this shit was already thick as hell, and it lasted 3 years and a huge wall hit to crack it out. It's going to be fine. Like, look how deep it is there. Because the first burnout I ever did, I was too nervous and I wasn't paying attention, and I wasn't even looking at the gauge, and I just let them pump up for ages. There must have been 100 pound in them. And when they went in the car, even on top of the engine, it was just a huge explosion. We got out, and literally from this body line, tail light and all, was caved into like up here. It was fucking crazy. If you go into the very first video of Power Cruise, fuck, it would have been 2020 or 2021. I think 2020 was COVID, so it must have been 2021. But it was completely caved in and smashed. Like, couldn't do anything. Like, it was crazy. So this thing has been full of bog and crazy and not perfect fitting, like, since the beginning of time. Once the car goes back, Jay says we'll cut it and, like, weld on a fresh panel. But we got to do the ripping off the Band-Aid thing and all the super crack shit. Damn, look how deep that is. That is crazy. Wow. There's air under that one. That's crazy that's never cracked. All right, let's go through and get all this junk off. Damn, that is insane how thick that is there. Oh, it's going to get that again. Alrighty, so I've gone to town with the grinder, taken out this little chip section, just pushed it back to where the bog's fine and it's not cracked. And here as well, it wasn't cracked through, but it still just went down to metal and went through it just so that there's no crack there that I'm bogging over. And then just went through and took all of this out. Again, took it above the crack lines and just went to where it's smooth again, somewhere to bog to. I mean, if you're expecting this paint job to last 5+ years, of course you wouldn't do this. You wouldn't go to old bog, or like you'd want to get rid of all of this, but burnout car. And you can see how freaking thick it was already. Guarantee that this will last, no issues. And instead of making a complete mess of the shop, I used the extraction fan that Swinfly provided with the spray booth, and dang, it worked freaking good. Coming in clutch on more than one job. All right, I'm gonna clean this up, have an assessment, look over it. Like, look at the condition of the metal from that first skid. It is crazy how junk it is. Burnout car life. I'm gonna have this thing ready for a freaking seamer. You watch. Alrighty, so just waiting. I just wiped it over with a wet rag. So you still see it's just flashing off on all the outside bits I've sanded there. Game plan, build up here, build up here, build up there. Once it's roughly to the point that I want it at, I'll then scuff the entire panel. Remember, Jace taught me, if you work in areas, especially with multiple stages of old bog, this stuff that you see here, which would have been super old, that'll sand quicker than that. That'll sand quicker than the new stuff we use. So what you want to do, I'll build this up, get it where I want, and then when I actually start to level the panel, try and get it flat and block it, I will sand the whole thing and I'll just skim the whole panel so that it's all one top layer that's drying at the same time. Then you just quick block and it should chop down pretty quick. So I'm going to start building this up, just trying to get it all as nice and flat as I possibly can, just so that there's less chances of like little pinholes or pockets that haven't got that aren't bonded to the car. But as I say, do your best, bog the rest. I ain't great at metalwork, but I'm great at bog. So let's see how this goes. All right, so it's the next day, and as you can see, I've actually jumped in quite a bit. I'm in towards the skimming stage. I've got most of the fill out complete. Now I'm just shaping it. I tried to do the old trick of not putting in much hardener so that I could spend longer smoothing it, and now it's taking insanely long to dry, so it's going to be a while before I can do that, but I should be getting towards the final steps of this quarter. Working on the tailgate. So yeah, you can remember there was those big dents in here. Bash them out as best as I could. Do your best to bog the rest. And then up here, I just blasted through with 180 grit. Now I've got this in the Spray Sources high fill primer. Gonna probably put on another coat or two just over all of that. Just because we want it to build as much as possible while we're at LS Fest. I would really like to have all of this done and in high fill so that it has like 4 or 5 days to build as much as possible, because the longer you can leave high fill, the better. And even still, 4 or 5 days isn't much. Some people literally leave cars in high fill for months. So we want to try and get it on there as soon as possible to let it sit for as long as possible. But then other than that, I've just been going over this side of the car with 400. Just taking away all the shine so that when you thin this out and use this as just a sealer, it'll have something to cling to. All right, so we're leaving for LS Fest this morning. So it was a rush to quickly block this down. It had dried enough. Now it's in high fill. I put it on there nice and thick so it has time to expand over the weekend. Then I got a couple little tiny bits to just fill in when we get back. I like having it sealed before having to do the touch-ups with the bog, because then instead of sanding super dry bog on new bog, at least you've sealed it off. Now the new bog is on top effectively, so you can do spot repairs a lot easier. Bodywork's definitely not 10 out of 10 like if Jace was to do it, but it's 100 times better than what it was, so that's what it's going to get. Very toast. Completely broken. Alright, late to the party, but the engine's pretty much out. And we've got our beautiful Jegs engine stand to sit it on. Alright, I'm going to put this down and help. With the engine over there and one of the heads toast, we need some new heads. So what we've got in this box over here from our good friends over at Jegs is a brand new fresh set of 6-litre heads. Freshies, brand newies. And to go in those dogs, we want to put some stainless ones back in there. So these are just a replacement, a standard style replacement from our friends over at Michigan Motorsport. We're going to go get someone that knows what they're doing to actually install these in the head. Then we got dual springs, guides and everything. These guys are nice. All right, I'm going to go hit the road in Grandpa and go and drop these bad boys off. CLIKB8 is pretty much ready to go into the booth. Everything's taped and masked off. Today I'll do the jams. And then Tom from the Spray Source is sending me his spray guns so that we can actually spray this properly and have it looking good. And then over here, Brad's ripping down the engine. You can see that there's witness marks of shit flying around, but as he was even saying to me, you normally get stuff flying all over. And that's the main donkey just there that took the brunt. So fingers crossed everything's good. Slide new pistons in, new timing chain, new oil pump. Heads are off getting done now, new valves, new springs. So a refresh on top of just fixing the things that got damaged, because the heads were junk anyways. And then we're trying our absolute best to put everything the same that was in there more or less. We are going to a single row timing chain, a Rollmaster one. Same oil pump. SRP were nice enough to send us out the exact same pistons that are in it. So we'll weigh the ones that come out of it. Weigh these ones, try and get these to the same weight because the bottom end is balanced. Oh, this is with they have the pin upgrade as well. Brad from APM in Australia, the guys who actually built the engine originally, they sent me the build sheet, so I got the exact same bearings that are in it. So nice ACL race bearings, so the clearances should be the exact same. And yeah, now it's time to tear it down, which is it's pretty good because the sump doesn't look horrible either. And this had nearly 3 years to the day of skids on it. And like I've said before, if it wasn't for my stuff up, there's a good chance that thing would still be ripping to this day. That windage tray looks very clean.
Extremely clean.
Yeah. Damn, it looks clean in there.
Super clean.
That is insane. What the hell?
It's what you want to see. It's good.
Yeah, that is freaking awesome. It literally looks like it was just put together.
Yeah.
So is that it signs a little bit of heat?
No, that's just the back of the bearing.
A little bit of wear.
A little bit of wear. Some trash ran through there.
So far, everything looks good. Crank looks good. Rods look good. The bearings are showing a tiny bit of wear. But after 3 years, something's obviously gone through there at some point. That's the main one that took the damage. It's the only one with the top rings a bit squished in there. But Brad was just saying that it would have taken the impact and maybe squashed it down a little bit on the head of the piston. Other than that, all the rings and everything look mint on the others. Okay, so we're going to paint outside, but it's way too freaking hot So it'd be waiting until the end of the day so that the shadow is over the booth. Then you're playing the game of running out of light. In here, it's a lot cooler. The temperatures are a bit better controlled. We've still got some light up in here. Open that door more, get some more light in from there. Oh, but we had to clear out a bunch of space because we got our tape measure, and this booth is going to be huge. So we'll finish sweeping this area and show you more on the booth. Box number 1. Box number 2. These are the 2 fans. One inflates the booth, the other circulates air through the booth. There is a 4th box, but I already unboxed that one because I built it. It's like an elephant trunk, they call it. System that goes on the outside to pull air out to get your overspray out of the booth. This thing from Infla, it is literally like the Rolls Royce of inflatable spray booths, or like the Taj Mahal of inflatable spray booths. This thing is insane. Yo, I literally can't even fucking fit this thing on camera. This thing is huge. Holy crap. Yeah. Ooh, it's so cool in here. So I think this is what they call, like, this is like the mixing room. They literally have a room in here for mixing your paint and stuff. This is crazy. Oh, so I missed pushing the car in, but we wanted to make sure it was big enough to open the doors. I think it's big enough to put another car in here and then still open the doors and then stack a car on top of it. This is insane. Damn, boy. All right, let's get painting. All right, I'm trying to perfectly place this video so that I'm not giving away any of the hidden secrets of the new look. The car is right next to me and it is completely painted, back together, on its wheels, and it's just waiting for its engine. All we have to wait for is Brad to reassemble it, and then it's good to go back in the car, and it's ready for the reveal. I've got the reveal video in my head, locked in. Can't wait to show you guys. This thing is actually next level. It has never looked like this. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But I'm gonna have to make you guys wait for the next video. Next video, we'll go through everything, go through painting it, go through putting in the drift knuckles, probably doing the diff gears, doing everything. And it'll start with the reveal of the new look. So the next video should be crazy. Can't wait for it, guys. All right, catch you in the next one.